students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. So, welcome to today's class. Today, we are going to study about the socialist and secularism. In our last class, we already studied about the democracy, right? So, basically, we are studying the main pillars of the preamble. The three main pillars over here, which are mentioned in the preamble, are democracy, socialism, and secularism, right? So, in our last class, we already studied about the word or the pillar democracy. Now, you all must be knowing what is democracy. So, let me give you a quick revision of it. So, democracy means basically a rule which is being done by the people, right? So, democracy in short gives the public right to elect their own representatives. Now, in today's class, we are going to study about the word socialist. So, basically, the socialist word was added in our preamble after our constitution was made. So, in the year 1976, by 22nd Indian Constitution Amendment, Constitution of India added in 42 Amendment the word socialist. Most of the provision in the Constitution of India directly or indirectly shows social revolution which brought social and economic equality and further the aim of welfare state. So basically, the Constitution of India added this word socialist because most of the provision in Indian Constitution were directly or indirectly showing social revolution, which means that it was giving equality for all the aspects, whether it is social, political, or economic. So, the principles of socialistic pattern direct social, economic, and political equality. So, basically, our constitution was giving, or it was giving India directly or indirectly a social, economic, and political equality for the citizen, as given in the preamble. It is now regarded as the prime feature of the state, and then it was being regarded as the prime feature of the state. Prime means the most important feature of the state. It reflects the fact that India is committed to secure social, economic, and political justice for all its people, right? So basically, the word social gives the socialist gives the power or the Indian citizens the right to fight in all the aspects, whether it is socially, economically, or politically, right? So it gives us equality in all the aspects. So any one particular person should not have the power over all assets. Instead, everyone should have equal opportunity by getting facilities and provisions from the society, and thereby eliminating the discrimination of rich and poor. And because not only a single person should get this opportunity, everyone should get equal opportunities, should get equal facilities, and should be able to participate in all the aspects of from the society, and thereby eliminating the discrimination of rich and poor. And this socialism eliminates, means removes the discrimination between the rich and poor people, and therefore we can say that the Constitution of India is a socialistic document, which means it does not discriminate any citizen on the basis of their caste, religion, gender, place of birth, whether they are rich, whether they are poor. Everyone is getting the equal opportunity in all the fields, irrespective of their physical appearance or their gender or any other thing. Now, the next pillar is secularism. So, basically, secularism word was also added in the year 1976 by 42nd, 42nd Amendment, 42nd Indian Constitution Amendment. So the term secular was inserted. India is a secular country. How? Let's see. Our Indian Constitution has no religion, no state religion, right? So the Indian Constitution embodies the positive concepts of the secularism, which means that our Indian Constitution is having a positive secularism, which means that all religion in our country have same status and support from the state, which means that positive secularism basically means that here, whether the strength of any religion is big or small, each and every religion has given equal status and support by the state, because our state or our country does not have its own religion. But here, the Indian Constitution gives us the right to follow any religion of the citizen's choice, right? So basically, India is a secular country. India can never become one particular religious country as per the provision of the constitution. So in our constitution, it is written that there cannot be any one religion for all the citizens of India. Each and every person or each and every Indian citizen has the right to follow his or her own religion. So India does not allow any particular religion. So the country never promotes any religious activities. So there is no any activity or no any festival regarding related to religion from the side of country. It is the citizens' choice which religion they want to choose and which religion's activity they want to perform. So the country cannot involve any secular activities with religious activities. The citizens of the country has a freedom to choose his or her own religion. So as I told you that our Indian citizens are free or they have the right to select their own religion. The country cannot discriminate a citizen on religious basis, and that is why the country cannot discriminate any citizen regarding or on the basis of the religion. Equal job opportunities and political rights to the citizens of the country to the citizens are given without any religious discrimination. So over here all the citizens have given equal rights and opportunities in all the aspects, and the citizens are given without any religious discrimination. They are not being judged on the basis, or there is justice is not done on the basis of their religion. Everyone has given equal opportunity. There is no discrimination regarding religion. In this way, secularism is the basic foundation and mandatory feature of the constitution, and because of this, secularism is the basic or the important pillar of the constitution. Sarvadharma Samardrashti and Sarvadharma Sambhav are the principles incorporated in the constitution. So, no particular religion will be encouraged in the state. There is no prohibition of any citizen to propagate his or her religious belief, trust, and faith. So, in our India, there is no prohibition. That means there is no restriction on any citizen whether they have to follow this particular religion, or they have to believe this or that. They all are free whether they want to follow any religion, and no one is being judged on the basis of their religion. So over here I have explained you the three pillars. That is, the first pillar is democracy, right? The second pillar was about the socialistic, and the third pillar was secular. So here I'm going to stop with our session. We will continue the chapter in the next class. Thank you.